Hi everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We have our brows done. Next I'm going to set my eyes that I've already primed with my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Warm Honey. And I'm going to put that all over my lids and my brows just to set that. Next I'm just going to clean up my brush with my Switch and Blend thingamajigs from Baddie. I'm going to take that orange color from my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette and put that all over my lid as my transition color. Making sure that we're nice and blended. Next, I'm going to take my liquid lipstick from a random beauty supply store that I got in Northcliffe, so do not ask me. And I'm just showing you guys how pigmented it is. And I'm just going to use this as a base for my red eye color, because I noticed that if I do not start with this, I would have fallout everywhere and it would just be a massive mess. It would be patchy and the color just would not show up. So I figured, let me just use my red liquid lipstick as a base, and it turned out perfectly fine. So I'm going to put this all over my lid with my flat brush. I'm going into my crease, but like not really. So I'm not going too far up into my lid. I'm not too close to my brow bone, but just kind of keeping it on my lid and on my crease. Don't worry if you're too messy, but I would suggest that you are careful because it would be really hard to erase this. So I'm just putting that all over my lid and patting it in and kind of just using my discretion to decide how much red I want. But because I really want this to pop, because it is a spring summer look and it is an Insta Baddie look, we want it to pop and go off. So I'm going ahead and taking that orange shade from my Jaclyn Hill palette and this red shade and mixing those together. And I'm putting that onto the areas that I've put on the liquid lipstick. And now kind of just softening that up and bringing the color out some more. So I'm softening my edges basically, but just still keeping it in that area and not going too far up or too far out. Just keeping it there, keeping it cute, keeping it bright and right. So you guys will be able, like I said, to decide and use your own discretion how bright you want it to be. But I went the fuck off, okay? I wanted this to pop. So I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. So I went back in, added some more, went back in, added some more, looked at myself and I'm like, no, is this too much? No, it can't be. So just went in and in and in and in and in with more and more and more until I was satisfied. You guys can see I've blended it out really well, not going too high up, but just kind of keeping it on my lid, but just softening it up more, making sure that there aren't any harsh lines. And I'm doing the exact same thing on my other lid. I'm kind of just making sure that it's cute and neat and not too messy, but not too structured as well. I hope you guys can get what I'm saying. So I'm going to take a normal blending brush, a clean blending brush. I'm just going to soften up those edges again because I am a bit of a, I don't know what to call myself. What is it? A perfectionist? Yes. So I'm going to take my brush and kind of just take that Access product off. And I'm going to use my favorite gel liner from MAC Cosmetics. And I'm going to wing my eye. If you guys do want a more in-depth tutorial on how to wing your liner, please do let me know in the description box below. I mean, in the comment section below. If I do see that there is a demand for it, then I'll definitely do it. But if there isn't, then I just think that you guys can continue watching me do it in fast motion. So I'm just winging out my liner, because how are you a baddie or an Insta Baddie without a winged liner? So I'm making sure that it is sharp enough to cut any bitch or nigga that try to come for you. So I'm going to go in with my face primer from Max Factor in All Day. And I'm going to put this all over my problematic areas. putting that in my skin, making sure it is distributed nicely. And I'm going to go in with my color corrector in the shade, I think, Pearl Orange from LA Girl. And I'm patting that in with my finger because I do feel like with the Beauty Blender, it takes away the product, which would kind of defeat the purpose. So I'm blending that into my problematic and dark areas. Next, I'm going to take my foundation. And I'm going to use my sorbet foundation in my problematic areas, like my dark areas and my scarred areas, because it is more full coverage than the Wow Cosmetics one. And then with the Wow Cosmetics one, I'm just going to put that all over in the other areas that I don't necessarily need full coverage in. So I don't know why I did this. I think I was doing this to be extra and just kind of try something new. And you guys will know if you watched my previous tutorial that the Wow foundation isn't so full coverage, and that's why I'm putting it in the areas that don't necessarily need that full coverage. And I'm once again just making sure that everything is evenly distributed and well blended on my skin into my neck so that we don't look crazy. I'm going to go in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Warm Honey once again, and I'm going to highlight. You guys do know that I do not play when it comes to my highlights. I go off, I go ham. And you guys will see that now because I am reverse contouring, because like I said, how are you a baddie without a reverse contour and a snatched face? So I'm going to go in with another concealer, and that is my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in the shade Medium 20. I'm going to apply that on my LA Girl Pro Concealer. And I did not wait for this to become more full coverage because I do feel like with my Beauty Blender not being so damp, it does give me that full coverage effect, so I did not wait. And I'm just going to blend this out. Make sure that we are nicely blended. Next, you guys already know what it is. I'm going to take my Black Opal Full Coverage Cream Contour Stick in the shade Suede Mocha. And I'm going to go ahead and blend that out like I usually do with the same brush that I always use. Once we are nicely blended and we are satisfied with our nose contour, I'm going to take my Yardley Loose Powder mixed with my Sacha Buttercup. And I'm going to sort of bake, but not really. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I don't really bake anymore. I just take the product and I pat it into my highlighting areas. And that really works out really well for me because I noticed that baking makes your face look dry, okay? So please stop doing this and just do what I'm doing, because I've been looking at y'all lately and y'all look crazy with the bake. So just let's not bake anymore. Let's just put the product into our face, okay? And I'm just gonna bake, sort of bake where my reverse contour is for that chiseled effect, and bake on the sides of my nose because this does give me more of a snatched look. I'm gonna go in with my Wow face powder, and I'm just gonna warm up my face and chisel my cheeks further, bronze my cheeks further. And that is the only place that I bake, in my nose and for my reverse contour. But in my under my eyes, I do not necessarily bake anymore because it leaves me looking hella dry. So I'm going to take my LA Girl Spice Blush Palette. So I'm going to use that blush color and put that on my cheeks. Not too much, not go ham. It is super, super pigmented. And going for this rosy kind of look because it is spring, summer. So why not? I'm going to take off that excess product. And I've taken it off my nose as well. I'm going to go in with that same Wow Face powder. And I'm going to chisel my nose. Snatch my nose, not going too crazy. So I'm basically just gonna smoke out my under eye. Don't know why I cut that out, with the same eyeshadow colors that I've used for my lid. And I'm gonna use my Connie Transform Earth Day as my birthday highlights. Oh my goodness, guys, this palette is amazing. As you can see, I can't stand myself right now. It is super, super pigmented. I couldn't deal with myself. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add some faux freckles for that baddie effect. I love my faux freckles, and I feel like I only do it when I'm feeling bad. So I'm going to take my bobby pin and kind of just place them in those areas. I'm going to use my Essence Setting Spray, and that is the look. That's what I do.